Thanks for doing this on a holiday. It's really appreciated, and congratulations on the contract. Uh, right off the bat, what about? Can you just describe the Sabres sales pitch, and what about those conversations resonated with you that ultimately made this the best fit?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a weird, a crazy past couple days for me, but right from noon on Friday, Ralph was he texted me, and then we hopped on a phone call, and I never met Kevin Adams before, but I obviously knew Ralph really well, and we hopped on a call, and um, he talked about the Sabres, and he talked about the city of Buffalo, and he talked about what their plans were, and where I would fit in, and really that put the bug in my head right off the bat. And from there, obviously, I fielded other offers and took the time to talk to other teams, but in the back of my head, I always knew that would be a good situation. If it came down to it that I wanted to do a 1-year contract, it was appealing to me. And even before free agency, Buffalo was a place that I had told my agent Darren Ferris that I would think about playing. I would think about playing there. It would be something that I think would be enjoyable, and I'm really glad that we're here.
Hey, Taylor, John Worrell with the Associated Press. Congratulations. Just to, I guess, to piggyback off that, because we're all kind of curious about your decision making on the Sabres. Knowing that you had free agency, coming, and expressing a desire to maybe play for a contender. I understand your reasonings. Well, I guess explain your reasonings behind why Buffalo and not maybe a team that has a better track record. I'm not knocking the Sabres, but I'm just trying to get a grasp of your decision making on this for in this decision.
Well, to start off with, it was, we knew it was going to be a unique marketplace coming into free agency, and once free agency started, I think we were made aware pretty quickly at how much things had changed and how COVID had affected a lot of different things, and so it kind of changed our decision making from there. It went from wanting to get a 6 or 7 year contract to thinking, hey, maybe a 1-year deal might be best for me financially and personally, and then we can see what the landscape of the NHL and really just the whole US and Canada looks like after that. So when we started thinking, okay, 1 year might be the best play, a situation just like Buffalo was something that was appealing to me. And when I sat down with my agent and I talked to my dad and people close to me, it started making more and more sense. And I think when you break it down and you have an open mind about things, and you're able to maybe look past the smoke that has surrounded the Sabres the past couple of years, I think you see a team that has elite players, ownership that's really committed to building a winner. I've seen what they've done with the Bills, and a coach that I feel can get a lot out of its players. And on a 1-year contract, I think both sides are eager to see how this works out, and there's obviously a lot of possibilities for the future.
Hey there, Taylor. Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News here. How much essentially are you betting on yourself with this deal? And kind of piggybacking on the talk of coming to Buffalo, those 2 games with the Devils last year, you guys got spanked pretty good, and those were actually some of the Sabres' best games. How much did that give you just a glimpse of what this could be and what you could add to them?
Well, I mean, I saw how the Sabres started off last year. They were a hard team to play against. They were outscoring teams. Special teams were great, and obviously things kind of fell off towards the end. But you can see the makings of a good team were there for a solid stretch of the season. And yeah, I mean, when you sign a 1-year contract, you're obviously betting on yourself, and I'm betting on the fact that I think, obviously I'm betting on myself, but I'm betting that the Sabres can improve and have a good hockey season. And I truly believe that. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I really think that there's steps to be taken, and the pieces are there, and hopefully I can add to that and have a good year.
Hi, Taylor. This is Bill Hoppy with the Times-Herald. Thank you for doing this. Your relationship with Ralph, I guess you were with him for 3 years, one as a head coach. I mean, there seems to be a lot of mutual respect. Can you just kind of explain your relationship with Ralph and the mutual respect you share for each other?
Yeah, if Ralph is a very interesting human being. He's so diversified in his interests and how he talks to people, and I think in 2020, a coach like him has the greatest chance of connecting with athletes and really making people better. We talk about hockey and how it's all statistics and stuff like that, but really it's a bunch of people, and I feel like he can get the most out of people. And when I had him as a coach, as an assistant coach, he was awesome. The year that I had him as a head coach was probably my most successful year, even though it was a shortened season, other than my MVP year. So he got the most out of me. I have a lot of respect for him, and in saying that, he's a very good hockey mind too. He sees the game in a way that an offensive guy would want to play for, and I saw that firsthand, and I still believe that. You see how Eichel was able to up his production last year and take a step that I think a lot of people around the league thought he could do. I don't think it's a coincidence that Ralph was able to get a lot out of him, and Jack did the work, but there was obviously a good relationship there.
Hi, Taylor. Paul Hamilton from WGRZ here in Buffalo. Congrats on your contract. And I was wondering, how much did the fact that Jack Eichel is here, and how much did that play in your decision? And has Ralph told you that you will get the opportunity to play on a line with Jack?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it that him being there is a big reason why I chose Buffalo. He's an amazing hockey player. I think that he took a great step last year. Now it's about can we find a way to get him in the playoffs and really produce on a stage that I feel that he deserves. So have I been told that I'm going to play with him exclusively? No, I have not. But when Ralph talked to me, he thinks that we're a really good pair, not only on the ice, but he feels like we have the same personality and we're going to gel well. And that meant a lot for, coming from Ralph. He doesn't just say that. So I'm excited to get on the ice with him and hopefully we can, along with everyone else on the team, hopefully we can have a good year and take a step, individually and as a team.
Hey, Taylor. Ted Goldberg with Spectrum News here in Buffalo. Kevin Adams talked about how kind of you guys had spoken a lot about the roster during your negotiations. And when you look at the Sabres roster, how do you see yourself kind of fitting into what the Sabres have been kind of going for, and what do you see yourself being able to add as well?
Well, I know that they want to be a puck possession team, a quick team, a transition team, a team that could either score off the rush or a cycle game. In talking, I've talked a lot about Jack, but Rasmus Dahlin is a player that I think is really ready to take a step as well. He's big, he's elusive, he's a great puck mover. There's some really good players. Jeff Skinner, I have a lot of respect for. I work out with him in the summers, and I see what he puts into his craft. And I know that last year might not have been the year that he wanted, but he's someone that really cares, and I feel like he could take a step back to where he was. Eric Stahl is a guy that still has a lot of game. There's a lot of good pieces on this team, and for me to come in and I don't want to call it a prove it deal, but a little bit of a show me deal. I think there's some really good pieces where we can make some good things happen.
Hey, Taylor, Matt Bove with the ABC affiliate in town. Congrats on the new deal. I know you kind of mentioned this off the top with your decision-making progress, but was there a moment or maybe a conversation that kind of swayed you aside from all of those conversations with Ralph, was there like maybe one particular thing he said or one particular moment when you were like, yeah, I want to go join Buffalo?
Yeah, I think it's crazy because it's been such a crazy past couple of days. I think it was yesterday that him and I FaceTimed in the morning, and we just chatted. It's been a long time since I had seen Ralph like that, and we just talked, and he told me about Buffalo, and I could just see it in his face that he really wanted me there, and it's a good feeling to be wanted like that. It really is. So then I had different conversations with other teams throughout the day, and some back and forth and things like that. But I Buffalo, they gave me time to make a decision, and never really pressured me. And from there, I talked with my agent, talked with people around me, and it just really seemed like a good fit. So that's what I did.
Taylor, Kevin Sylvester, WGRZ Channel 2 here in Buffalo. Along those lines, were you offered a multi-year deal by the Sabres, and did you turn down a multi-year deal with another team to go with a one-year prove-it deal?
Yeah, there was multi-year deals on the table. Nothing. I came into it thinking that it was either going to be a 6 or 7 year deal or a 1 year, and see where the marketplace went to potentially next summer. I don't know if I'll get there. I honestly, the best thing for both sides is that this goes really well, and I'm a Sabre for a long time, feeling comfortable with where I'm at. But I think for both sides, we're comfortable with a 1 year deal, and seeing where things take us. I mean, who knows how many games we play this year, what the world looks like even 2 months from now. So we were both comfortable. They didn't offer Buffalo didn't offer me anything long term. It was 1 or 2 years, and I went with one, and I'm excited about it.
Hi, Taylor. Adam Benini, WGRZ TV, as well. Kind of piggybacking on Kevin's question there a little bit. You've talked about the pieces they have in place, and I was going to ask you, understanding that 1 year is the best for everyone right now, to what degree, as a marketplace, as a franchise, based on how close they might be in terms of being competitive, how open-minded are you to the Sabres as a long-term destination based on how this goes?
Very interested. It's close to home. It's close to my parents. It's a place that I could see myself for a while. They have pieces like I've spoken about. They have elite pieces. Hockey is an interesting thing. I mean, 3 years ago, no one would have thought that Colorado would be the number one destination for guys to go to. And things can happen. Things can turn pretty quick, especially if you have elite pieces. Like the Sabres do, and I really believe that. I said before, like when you look past some of the smoke and some of the stuff that's happened to the Sabres the last couple of years, there's under the hood, there's some really good pieces, and I really believe that, and that's where my mind was the past couple of days, thinking about Buffalo.
Hey, Taylor, it's Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. I know you've been looking forward to this free agent process for a while, getting a crack at unrestricted free agency. And I was just wondering how emotionally it's been the last few months to see the flat cap being put in place, to know that the economic landscape was changing, and sort of what the emotions have been like for the last maybe like 72 hours and dealing with everything. Yeah,
it's been interesting. There's nothing that can really prepare you for free agency, good and bad. Obviously my agent and we spoke a lot, and we knew coming in that it was going to be a different marketplace and all that. But, it was a little bit eye-opening to see, not just me, but other players around the league, very good hockey players, maybe not seeing the term that they would have wanted. The flat salary cap, I think a lot of teams had internal salary caps now as well, and it's the way it goes. I can't sit here and complain. I signed a I'm playing hockey next year, and my salary is $8 million. I don't have a lot to complain about. It's just, you know, when you look at the potential of free agency maybe a year ago, obviously you don't see this stuff kind of happening. So, but that's the world. You got to adapt, and I think this was the best play for me, and we'll see where it takes me.
Hey, Taylor, John Warrow with the AP once again. Two questions. The first one's a quick one. Just where is home for you now? Like, where are you right now? And then the other thing is, what happened in Arizona, and how did that thing just lead you to leave that team, despite all the interest that franchise had? Was the whole Chayka situation kind of upsetting the turmoil, or what led you to leave Arizona?
First of all, I live in Toronto as my off-season home, so I'm really close to Buffalo. There's like a quarantine there or something, so I don't know when I can go or things like that. So I'll have to sort that out. And with respect to Arizona, I love my time there. The GM situation was it was a little unsettling. It wasn't a distraction for us in the playoffs, honestly. I don't think that anyone on the team could say that they were distracted with that, because there was nothing a GM could really do when we're in the midst of a playoff series. But it did make for a different potential negotiation. You know, I was very comfortable with John. I have a lot of respect for him. You know, I was looking forward to sitting down with him at maybe the end of the season and just, you know, seeing where he was and seeing where I was and things like that. But it didn't materialize. And from there, you know, the new GM got hired, you know, so close to free agency that I didn't really have a time. I never even spoke to him. So from there, I thought it was best if I went somewhere else, and if it was on a 1 year, I was fine with that. And you know, that's where we are now.
Hi, Taylor. Lance Lysowski from the Buffalo News again. Just wondering, have you spoken to Jack Eichel? And while you were weighing your options, did it cross your mind at all? Were there any sort of concerns about, I mean, there's obviously, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's been a lot of, you know, rumors flying out there this offseason that teams were calling the Sabres about Jack, and Jack has obviously been frustrated and he's been vocal about. And just, were you concerned about what maybe where his head is at in terms of, you know, his outlook for this franchise?
No, I mean, I've been in a similar spot to him, honestly. You know, at one point in my career, I was a frustrated, you know, young 22-year-old, 23-year-old. And I know what that's like, but I also know how quickly it can turn. And all of a sudden you're on a team that, you know, that's winning more games than they're losing. You're in a playoff hunt. You know, things just kind of come together. And I know that can happen really quickly. And, you know, with him as you know, he's the best player on the team. There's no doubt about it. When I'm there, he's the best player. And I think if he's your best player, you got a really good chance at making a playoff run. Surround him with the right pieces and the right attitude, and then you see what can happen. But I'm not worried about that. No, I think he loves Buffalo. I think he loves the fans and the fan base, and the fact that he's able to play for a franchise like that. I think he just wants to win, and I can't blame him. I've been there before, and I want to do the same thing.
Hi, Taylor. John Vogel with The Athletic. You mentioned a couple of times having to look past the smoke and look under the hood to really see this franchise. Were you at one point one of the people who, among the many, who just saw the smoke? And what was it? When did you finally look under the hood and say, okay, this is the right one?
I mean, I never, when you're playing, you know, you're playing hockey for the New Jersey Devils, you don't really, or Arizona Coyotes or Edmonton Oilers, you don't really think, okay, would I play for Buffalo? But you know, I saw the team hire Ralph, and I saw the team start off really well and have some really good momentum behind them last year. Obviously it didn't work out, but I think Buffalo is a team that, whether guys realize it or not, everyone around the league kind of pulls for them. You know, it's a good city. They have passionate fans. They have a fan base that's starving for a winning team and hasn't had that lately. And it's a situation where you go in and, you know, improvement's going to be seen as a positive as a positive thing, and that's a good situation to go into. It's sometimes, you know, if you go to the best team in the league and they don't do well, maybe it's seen as a disappointing thing. I think there's a lot of positivity that can come from this, and I'm really hoping that happens.
Taylor, Mike Harrington, Buffalo News again. You were a Hart Trophy guy and a 93-point guy in 2018. Obviously, there's been injuries there. You were a 16-goal, 52-point guy this year. Where was your game this year, and where do you need to get better?
Yeah, it was an interesting year for me. I think it was so in 18-19, I was injured. I had a knee injury, and I had to rehab that all summer before last season, and I wasn't really able to train the way that I would have wanted to. You know, I came into the season not thinking that would affect me. I felt fine, but it was pretty obvious that, you know, it did affect me, and I just didn't feel as good as I would have liked. You know, and then the team in Jersey doesn't do as well. I get traded to another team that had a lot of trouble scoring in Arizona. We played a more defensive system that was able to have us, you know, we beat Nashville, but we didn't score a lot. We weren't a transition team, but there's some really good players there, and I think that they have a lot of potential as well. But there was just some circumstances this year that some were out of my control and some were in my control, and the ones that were in my control I didn't do very well with. So the puck didn't go in the net as much as I would have wanted. I feel like, you know, with the right people around me and a fresh start, I really feel like I can get back to maybe my totals the previous couple of years. But I'm excited about it. I feel great. Obviously, you guys hear this every year at training camp. I'm in the best shape of my life, but I really do feel good. I don't have any injuries. I don't have anything limiting my training or skating or anything like that. So I'm really happy about where I'm at, and hopefully I get a chance to show that sometime soon here.